The following is a presentation of Morning Drive Media.
Are we alone? What is already here? Is the thing that goes bump in the night real or imagined? I'm paranormal reporter Nolan Guthrie, and this is Mysteries in the Unexplained on the Napzok Files podcast feed.
What are your prime directives?
Serve the public trust.
Welcome, everybody. I'm Nolan Guthrie, paranormal reporter and director of the Guthrie Learning Center of the Unexplained. I first met Ken Napzok while he was a disc jockey for KWBR in Pismo Beach, California in the mid-90s. I was there investigating urban legends like the ghostly White Lady of the Napomo Mesa and the alleged haunting of the historic Rose Victorian Inn, later called the Crystal Rose Inn. From there, our friendship grew over a shared desire to search for Bigfoot, which is why this show is on the Napzok Files podcast feed. My guest today is a noted meteorologist that I first met in 2009 at a TED Talk. He is an expert on many things, but today we are focusing on one. Please welcome Jonah Schuckard as we talk about the Bermuda Triangle. Welcome, Jonah.
Nolan, it's fantastic to see you again, buddy. I swear. I mean, I have kept up with your career, and I gotta say, you're one of those people that I have never stopped looking up to.
Well, no need for that. I appreciate the kind words. Yes,
of course.
We do communicate via hot mail, sending email correspondences. Meeting you at the TED Talk was fantastic. I talked about many things that day, including embracing the unknown and exclaiming your embracing of the unknown, because there's a lot of shame in believing in things, or not even believing, but being curious about things we do not understand.
Yeah, and that's really why I went to that TED Talk, and I think that's why it's fate that we met at that TED Talk, because we sort of are on the same wavelength about a lot of things, and I feel like that's really the mecca for the truthers of the world. The
truthers indeed, and the ones who search for answers that might not initially seem apparent. Your career has taken you all around this great country as a meteorologist. You got your education. What school did you go to again?
Last week, I was actually speaking at my alma mater, which is University of Des Moines in Iowa.
Oh, this fantastic organization. I've been there for some speaking engagements, but also used it as a home base for a summer I spent chasing tornadoes, which is a natural kind of unexplained.
What year was that?
I do believe that was 2003.
03.
Yeah.
03. See, because I graduated, what was it? Must have been 92.
Okay.
And I haven't been back there since, so...
a lot of corn.
Okay.
Corn in the fields.
Yeah.
It's a great community, though.
It's nice to know that they're staying with the corn industry.
If you graduated from the University of Des Moines in 92, you probably are familiar with the alleged alien landing in 1989 nearby Fort Dodge, Iowa. Which
familiar with it. Yeah. I'm friends with the guy who experienced
You're friends with Bill Patterson.
Yeah, Bill Patterson and I go way back, even all the way to preschool. Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, Bill Patterson received a lot of, in 1989, he claimed that he was working his farm when an alien ship landed down to measure his corn, and he didn't like his corn being measured, as most gentlemen would not like.
Yeah, of course.
So he fought back, but he says he lost. He believes he was knocked out and was left unconscious on an alien craft for over 3.5 days. And when he reported it to authorities, he was laughed out of police stations, hospitals, and even the local newsroom until
Nolan, the thing you have to understand about Bill is that Bill was this guy who everyone thought was going to be a shining quarterback. He was the man to know at high school. And, we sort of had a little escapade. I was the nerd. He was the jock. We weren't supposed to be friends, but there we were in the cornfield every Friday night.
Yeah, making things happen, right?
And what happened to Bill was on the field one day, he actually fainted and players stepped and ran over his head with their cleats. And back then in the day, people used to wear metal cleats.
Right.
And so when we thought, here's Bill going to go to probably Dartmouth or Yale.
Right.
This is a senior year, 88.
Yeah.
And
his senior year,
yeah. And so there he was, all that potential down the drain. And so when he got abducted, everyone sort of thought, oh, here he is, sort of the manifestation of his mental problems from that accident. But
right. And that's part of the problem in reporting on or experiencing the paranormal or the unexplained is often, and I've heard comedian from Kids in the Hall Dave Foley talk about this on shows like Obsessed with Joseph Scrimshaw and the Joe Rogan Experience podcast, a fine location for great ideas all around the world. Dave Foley, who I respect as a comedian and sketch performer, has said that there is a lot of shame in coming forward and just questioning some of this stuff. And I think Bill Patterson, who had a great quarterbacking record in high school,
the best,
and many considered him to be on par with another local standout, Bubby Brister, who went on to quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So to see this go this way and him to take a job on his family farm, the Patterson corn fields.
That's about all he could do at that point.
Yeah, it's about
the thing is with the mysteries and unexplained, which is something that really, I will say, for lack of better terms, pisses me off, is that people will look for anything in someone's history to try to point fingers at for excuses to say, this is why they're saying that. And for Bill, it was the accident of the football field.
Absolutely. The great spiking of 88, I believe, is how it's referred to locally. But it sounds like you guys had some quality time together in the cornfields on Friday nights, probably looking in the stars and wondering what's out there. I don't want to say you're an expert of many things, and a meteorologist is just one of them.
Thank you. Thank you.
Your work on the Bermuda Triangle, Bermuda, that depends on what region, the Bermuda Triangle, which has been puzzling people for many, many years, and not just in modern times. I mean, you could find a lot of writings about this. Christopher Columbus actually made an entry in a ship journal in which he explained weird winds that brought with it troubling signs of the beyond, and a lot of people didn't pay attention to it because, quite frankly, he didn't know what country he landed on anyways.
Yeah, I mean, Christopher Columbus, let's talk about that guy for a minute. Sure. He is my hero. The way that he dominated this country and he really made it what it is today is
took it by storm.
Yeah, that's perfect. And, he's actually one of the first guys that experienced the compass phenomenon of the triangle.
Right.
And what that is for your listeners who just aren't aware of this yet is basically anyone who is willing to go into the triangle will experience an electromagnetic field.
Right.
And Nolan, I don't know if you know this, but an electromagnetic field will discombobulate your compass.
A discombobulated compass is definitely not something that's easy
It's useless.
To live with. It's not easy to live with at all.
It's useless. How are you supposed to see north or south or west or east?
Right.
All you know is up and down, what you see in front of you. And that's really where people run into trouble with the triangle.
Right. And that might have contributed a little bit to Columbus and his maligned reputation as someone who landed on the wrong land and believed it was something else, and then took over the natives' country. Your work, let's give a little on the history of the Bermuda Triangle in modern times. Really picked up speed in December of 1945, December 5th, 1945. The incident's referred to as Flight 19. This is a military flight that got lost. A search and rescue group that went after that flight was lost as well. And
5 bomber planes to be exact.
Exactly. Well, this is why you're the expert. Yeah. And I do want to know, you have released several pamphlets on the Bermuda Triangle, which can be ordered.
Yeah, I mean they're digital pamphlets, but they're pamphlets. And
that's great for the environment.
I mean,
Originally, though,
you didn't release a pamphlet.
Oh no, I definitely try to keep it digital. Definitely.
Yeah.
I do believe, though, your first pamphlet was on paper. That was a different time, and it really got people talking. The Bermuda Triangle has also been called the Devil's Triangle, but the porn industry has a copyright on that name, so it's generally referred to by the Bermuda Triangle. Many people have tried to discount this. An Australian scientist, Carl Kruse-Lenecki, said in 2017 in an article. Yeah, exactly. That's my...
just keep going, but just know I'm disgusted.
He just basically, I'm summarizing his article that was released on the internet, that the incidents in the Bermuda Triangle are due to human error. Exactly. Indeed. Indeed. Now, I have done some research. My TED Talk that we met at was on was almost paranormal ghost activity, and people who actually believe they are in long-term relationships with ghosts and why that shouldn't be discounted. But your work harkens back to the great Bermuda Triangle expert Vincent Gaddis, who originally wrote the book The Deadly Bermuda Triangle. I took several test flights in 2005 with a paranormal research team, and we flew through the triangle many times, but the only thing that seemed to happen to me...
How many times?
6 times. And the only thing that seemed to happen to me is I developed a better appreciation of Neil Diamond records. That's the only thing that I could say that changed after my trip.
All you experienced during the triangle.
That's all I experienced, but I know it's not every time, and I know that journey 6 times over does not make a fully researched opinion.
Yeah, I've been in the triangle a total of 11 times, and all but one have I come out feeling traumatized, to say the least. And
traumatized in which way? What are you feeling?
Well, it's sort of like a vibe from hell. When you enter the triangle, which, by the way, is 1 million square feet in distance, it spans basically the entire Atlantic Ocean. And you know what's interesting is a lot of people don't seem to understand that I'm a professional meteorologist. Right. Because what I've experienced in the triangle is fact, not fiction.
You hold to that. Yeah.
Yeah. That's watertight. Yeah. Airtight, watertight. Yeah. All the same.
Absolutely.
And so, okay, I got a little off track, but what I'm trying to say here, Nolan, is that the Bermuda Triangle, by and large, is a feeding ground for extraterrestrial experimentation.
You think the alien entities have...
I know it. I know it.
They have chosen this area as a way to gather subjects, tests. What draws them to this area as opposed to, say, rural Oklahoma?
When Pangea split off about 1,000 years ago or something like that.
I think 1,200.
Yeah. When Pangea split off into different countries, basically what happened was it created a new North Pole under the sea in the Atlantic Ocean as the continents spread it apart.
Kind of an earthly discombobulation of its compass, of the earthly compass.
Yes, exactly. I couldn't put it better myself. And so basically what happens there is that the aliens, for a lack of better term, the aliens basically know that the open ocean is a place where humans are at their most vulnerable.
Do they recognize pirate law?
Well, that's been debated amongst a few of my friends and colleagues, but they don't follow any law, Nolan, and that's where we really start to see trouble in the triangle.
Yeah. It's a free-for-all for the aliens.
Well, yeah.
They don't care who you are. Cruise ship, Freightliner, pirates.
Cruise ship, U.S. Navy ship, bomber plane.
In other words, they're the captain now.
Let's think back to the Malaysian Flight 370.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Which I believe my research indicates that there were alien entities on board.
On board the flight?
The flight, yeah. That might contribute.
Wow. Okay, yeah.
I have other
I love that.
Political conspiracy theories. I do believe there's some of those things, and all are valid. I haven't released.
Well, we're here today to talk about the triangle.
Let's focus on the triangle.
And what I'm trying to say here before you interrupted me is that basically that the same phenomena we see occurring in the Bermuda Triangle is the same phenomena we see occurring in the Chinese Triangle. Just no one talks about the Southeast Asian Triangle. It's just people will talk about Ben Affleck, but they'll never talk about his brother.
I mean, the Southeast Asian Triangle is other than being a category on Pornhub, is something that is like it's not as prevalent. It's not as for lack of a better term, cool in modern lore.
Yeah, because whereas the Bermuda Triangle has had 100 disappearances in the last 50 years, we've got 3 or 4 major disappearances in the Southeast Asian Triangle.
Right.
And one of those being Malaysia Flight 370, because what we see happening here is over the open ocean, these crafts are carrying, it's almost like a platter, a buffet, as you will.
I love buffets, yeah.
Oh, yeah, me too. Have you been to the buffet at the Science for California convention?
Yeah, absolutely. It is. They converted a Golden Corral, and it's called Feedbag Us. Feedbag and Us, I believe it is, and it's the relationship between the feedbag and the human people, and it's a study in the science of marketing food, but also just a damn good tater tot.
Yeah, the trough there is like my favorite.
Yeah, the fact that they just openly call it a food trough. It's interesting. It's a great study.
Anyway, back to my...
At low cost, $4.99 gets you in.
So, the triangle, it's also a part of history for the United States, for Africa, and for Europe. The triangle, if you recall from your basic history class, it was called the Triangle Trade.
Yeah.
People would pick up slaves, go from Europe, pick up slaves in Africa, and drop them off in the United States and go back to Europe. And that constant draw of negative energy being made into a triangle, that's sort of where we see the more of the humanity-based aspects of why the triangle is so cursed.
That's fascinating stuff. That there's some dark energy there because of past transgressions.
Yes.
And do you think going back to the aliens, and I don't want to jump around, but going back to the aliens, do you feel as though they are picking up on that, or is it a coincidence that they are using this as target practice, if you will? Well,
it is a coincidence because the Greys actually didn't land on Earth until 1942. So
right. Talking about, for those who are the Greys and the Blues, we talked about this in the first episode with Riley Calbert, filmmaker.
You talked to Riley?
Riley Calbert, yeah. Who had the Michigan UFO. He's a great guy. He's a little scattered since some of the incidents, but he's a great guy. I think he developed restless leg after the first encounter, but other than that,
that'll happen.
I'll hook you guys up. I'll connect you over electronic correspondence there. I stepped on you again. I apologize.
Well, I mean,
so we're freeform thought here.
Well, Nolan, we're both intellectuals.
That is absolutely true. That's absolutely true. With the alien activity there, and there's been a lot of documented things there. A lot of it is serious. A lot of it, when the general public hears of the Bermuda Triangle, they might think of John Bermuda Schwartz, the drummer for Weird Al Yankovic, or they'll think of disappearing planes, many that you and I have talked about there. But other things have happened. In 1987, a Princess Cruise Line ship went there, seemed to disappear for 2 days, and when it came back, every married couple had shifted one couple to the left, and they kind of believed as a kind of a extraterrestrial key party had happened there, and no one could understand.
100%.
Yeah, and you believe, I read in your second pamphlet, the aliens do appreciate our love. You said that maybe the aliens wanted to encourage new passions in old relationships.
Well, the thing that's actually really glad you brought this up, because something that me and my study partners have found in the past 10 years is that the aliens actually... I'm sorry, I keep calling them aliens, but anyways, I have to. The aliens, what they do is they actually they make our love a commodity, and so what's
traded or sold?
Both. Wow. You can trade, sold, all of it, and the laws of prostitution and sex trafficking that apply here on Earth just don't apply.
They don't
to the Greys and the Blues,
right?
And so they actually, some people hypothesize that it's gold, oxygen, carbon. that they're here to harvest, but it's actually the emotion of love. And I know that for a lot of three-dimensional flat human beings will not understand.
That is deep.
But
I think that spins the way you look at aliens, and again, I apologize for using the term, unearthbound beings. We look at them as an invading military force, or like you said, taking our resources for use on their home planets. That goes into popular culture a lot, but it seems like they're fascinated with the emotion of love, the act
they just want to
lust. Yeah, the act of lust, and clearly that might be. It seems as that's what. I remember reading after Bill Patterson's abduction, and one of the things he was saying on the news that the aliens just keep saying, "How you like that?" And he wasn't sure what they were getting at until he felt it.
Well, Bill really had that firsthand experience that I could feel vibrating off his body, but that's a whole other episode.
Different time.
The aliens' obsession with the triangle, though, is something that I think all of your listeners who are interested in spreading the truth need to understand, is that the Bermuda Triangle is a serving platter of human life to extraterrestrials. And so that's why I myself announcing here for the first time on this podcast that I am actually planning on taking a expedition to the Triangle in November of 2019, which is the height of the catching season for the blues.
Yeah, that's where a lot of documented the fall into early winter seems to be their time.
I will be there, and I will not be square. I will be triangle. I will be ready to be taken. And the thing is that even if I'm not taken, I will not have enough food or water to make it out. So at that point, I will have to experience the full force of the triangle and vlog it all, live stream it.
So you're going to try to document this, which is once again to the general public who's often unbelieving and shuts down their thoughts. They want proof, and their ideas of proof.
I'm about to give them proof.
Their ideas of proof are very basic. It is the 0 and 1s of proof. We want some video. We want this. We want to document it. You're going to try to give them that. A lot of times, proof is found in the soul, and it's what you experience and what you know. But this will be your 12th time through the triangle, but it seems to me the most important trip.
This will be my 12th time in the triangle, and I'll be taking my experience from all other 11 times. I'll be taking all the pamphlets.
Right. Are you going to be spreading the pamphlets to the aliens? Oh, sorry, excuse me.
I will be.
Yeah.
Well, once I'm with the aliens, they won't need pamphlets.
They'll know.
Yeah, they'll just. They'll really get it.
Is there any chance, have you tracked down Bill Patterson in a few years? I know he's still alive. I understand he works at a Des Moines feed store now. He had to sell the farm.
I mean, could we maybe...
Not bring him?
Yeah.
Okay. That's fair.
Well, okay, I think just to...
Yeah.
Let me just put it out there.
Yeah.
Bill Patterson is a great guy. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I've conversed with him a lot.
He started selling cosmetics. He signed up for one of those,
like an Amway, like a pyramid scheme.
Like a pyramid scheme. Okay. And so what he did was he started flooding all of my messages, my voicemails, with trying to get me to buy.
That's a shame.
Yeah, and the thing is that I have a special place in my heart for this kid because he showed me hope in high school when no one else would.
I'm so sorry to bring it up. Bill's a great guy. I tell you, the last time I saw Bill in person was the 25th anniversary of Field of Dreams. I was out there in Iowa, and I heard, do you want to have a catch?
That's beautiful.
And I turned around, and it didn't mean, it wasn't a baseball term, what he was talking about, but I didn't participate that day, but I think he's a great guy. So I won't bring it up again.
It's okay.
Do you feel, though, he joined a pyramid scheme, but really when you look at the pyramid from one angle, it's a triangle. And do you think that was some sort of extra alien activity or an unearthbound being?
Well, yeah, you literally read my mind because I was about to say...
Maybe that's a power I got from the triangle.
Maybe. I mean, you've been there how many times again?
I've only been 6.
We went there twice, right?
Yeah, you and I, my 3rd and 5th trips were with you. But it wasn't until the 6th trip that I came out singing all the lyrics to Cracklin' Rosie Get On Board. And that's where I knew something weird had happened there.
And also, it was Tuesday.
It was Tuesday. Yeah, it was Tuesday.
We had entered the triangle on Tuesday.
Do you think day and time have anything to do with your experiences in the triangle?
Well, yeah. Think about it like this, right? if you're looking at a bunch of ants on the ground and you put a glass around them, right?
Right.
On top of the ants.
Top of the ants.
And that's what the extraterrestrial zaddies are doing to us.
They're putting a pint glass on humanity.
But it's a sort of pint glass that twists time and space. I mean, it's all in pamphlet number 4. So if you want to hear more about time and space, go to that. It's on my website. Donate whatever you want. I don't have a specific price. You can pay whatever you want for the pamphlet.
Is it, what is it, jodenshekard.angelfire.com?
No, actually, I sold that. I sold that URL. It's currently Shekard Truth.
Shekard Truth.
.tv.
That's a great one. Yeah. That's solid. That's solid. We're going to take a quick break. On the other side of this break, we're going to finish up the show, and I want to know a little bit more what you hope to accomplish on this 12th trip to the Triangle. We're going to see what else is out there and maybe talk a little bit more about what the Triangle can do. Can it be positive? Can the experiences there be studied? Can we learn from them? And can we help change humanity for the better? This is Mysteries and the Unexplained, and we'll be right back here on the Napzok Files podcast feed. Welcome back to Mysteries and the Unexplained on the Napzok Files podcast feed. I am Nolan Guthrie, paranormal reporter. Oh, sorry, your mic was off. Say it again.
Oh, I'm Jonah Shekard.
You are Jonah Shekard. You are a professional broadcaster, meteorologist. You've worked all over. I enjoyed your turn at the Palm Springs News Deck. Really good work out there. You did win a local Cable Ace Award for your...
Yeah.
We're here with Jonah Shekard, who is an expert on the Bermuda Triangle. He's published over 6 digital pamphlets on the phenomenon and knows a lot about it. And is going back for a 12th time in November of 2019. If you're listening to this after, we hope for the best. We hope to have you on for a follow-up. Indeed, you are going out there, and there are people who believe. There's people who believe. You referred to them. What do you call them? The
Triangle.
You said the Bermuda biters.
Yeah,
they really.
Well, yeah. For those of you who don't know, the Bermuda biters are basically people that I am converting to believe in the Triangle's powers. I call them my biters. And for all my biters that are listening to this right now, just know that this is where I'm offloading my consciousness.
Chomp.
Yeah, chomp on this, because this episode, I don't know if I didn't tell Nolan this before I came on, but this episode of Mysteries and Unexplained is, it's tough to say, but it's where I'm basically offloading my consciousness before I disappear forever.
You think are you planning to come back from your trip? I can't.
I don't think so.
You think, do you by choice, or do you think the unearthly bound beings have a higher purpose for you?
Well, once I get out there on the pontoon boat and I drink the eucalyptus, that's when I'll know for sure whether I'm coming back.
Okay.
Yeah.
You think that will open yourself up? Because you had mentioned going out there and being open to the experiences. I must admit, though I believe in a lot of things and I question a lot of things, I was dubious. I'm dubious. I'm not sure. I don't trust. I think 85% of airline pilots are drunk, so missing planes, I'm not sure about that. The boats, I don't know.
Questioning the Triangle?
I did not question it. I'm not quite a biter, but I do believe.
Come on.
I'm telling you. After I came out of that 6th trip, I purchased all of Neil Diamond's catalogs when previously I'd only owned a Greatest Hits compact disc.
And what compelled you to do that?
I don't know. I just came out.
Right. You don't know.
Believing.
You don't know.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you.
You're telling me. You're filling in the blanks.
Yeah. For everyone who's heard all these bullshit stories about the Triangle is just a fable like Santa Claus or... somebody like Abraham Lincoln, this is a real thing.
Unreal, yeah.
This is a real thing.
Yeah.
And everyone just seems to sort of be overlooking it. I'm sorry, I'm not going to raise my voice.
No, you're good. You're passionate about the subject. You also, bring up Abraham Lincoln, and I do enjoy your. I enjoyed you had an essay published in Skeptic magazine in which you put forth the idea that Abraham Lincoln was actually played by many people over the course.
Well, yeah,
of his
just
life.
like William Shakespeare.
Yeah.
and Benjamin Franklin.
He was
Lincoln,
a construct.
He's a metaphor for basically what the people need, and
interesting.
It's like it's basically what we see people like Mark Ruffalo being today. It's a figure that people stand behind and rally behind,
right?
And it represents an idea. Whereas he is a real person, but Lincoln was about 4 to 5, 6 people.
Yeah.
On weekends 8. But
do you believe that Daniel Day-Lewis might have been sent here from the past to portray him in the Steven Spielberg picture? I heard a theory. I don't believe it.
The past in what way?
I think he was sent through. Some people do believe time travel is possible through rocks, and that you could use a geode to travel backward and forward, and that he may have found the way, and that's why he's so good at muskets.
Oh, wormhole theory.
Yeah.
I mean, that could very well be a possibility, but that could also, you could be from the past or the future. It's really, you don't know, because people think, time travel. When you travel through time, you're obviously from a different time. Where no, you're still a human being. If me and you put on some 1600 clothes and carried around a musket and went back to 1600s, we would blend right in.
Right, and no one would know.
Yeah, we'd blend right in. And that's part of the triangle's problem, is that time blends right in.
It's all one mishmash of time.
Yeah.
It's like a intergalactic swatch watch.
Like the people listening to this right now, they're listening to it, and every second that they're hearing us talk, a second is passing.
Right.
But it's not like that second is more important than the second before it.
No, it's called the second place second theory, and I like that a lot. What do you hope to learn going into the triangle and not return? Are you scared? Are you apprehensive? Do you feel as though you're going to be ushered in and welcomed by these unearthbound deities and beings as a reward for your work and putting forth? Or do you feel as though there's a threat because you've tried to expose their work?
Well, I have thought about this a lot.
You have some spit on the mic, just wipe it. Yeah. I
have thought about this a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I know for a fact that I'll be welcomed.
You think you absolutely will?
Yeah.
It's the pearly gates of the alien world.
Because, that's a great way to put it. And Nolan, the truth is I've met the Greys.
You've met the Greys?
Yeah. The Greys have touched me, have felt me, have needed me.
Have they asked, do you like that? Is that?
Well, yeah, I mean.
Okay, and you do?
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know, the way you just asked that was a little.
It was a probing question. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So, anyways, yes, I will be welcomed.
Yes.
Nolan.
This is very bittersweet.
Will you be welcomed?
I don't think I would.
No, you won't.
Unless they appreciate Neil Diamond, I don't think I'd be welcome. But going back to what this is bittersweet to hear this, and you did not talk about let me know this was going to happen in the pre-show meeting. I
haven't talked to you in 10 years.
I know, and but we've corresponded over the Hotmail electronic correspondence machine, and you're a good guy, and I feel you as though you're a colleague. You're in the public media. You're in the normal media, so to speak, but you also are on our side, and that's tough. And all the Cable Ace Awards in the world don't mean anything to me other than your soul, and I just can't stand the idea of losing you. However, much touching. Like James Earl Jones at the end of Field of Dreams, the fact that you might get the chance to walk into the proverbial alien cornfield and experience what you've always believed in as some sort of reward for your work.
Yeah, it's purely a reward.
I want you to experience that too. I just will miss our electronic mail correspondences.
Well,
unless you feel maybe the aliens probably still have an AOL account.
If you will miss me. Mm-hmm. Because I got to be honest here, you're really the only person that I talk to.
You're not. You've been shunned by those in your business.
Well, yeah, they can't handle me. Okay, you know Jeff, you know Todd.
Yep.
You know David.
David did some great work out in Walla Walla, Washington, for some meteorology.
I hear about Walla Walla one more time, I'm gonna fucking go off the walls. Okay,
that's a good statement.
Yeah, the thing is I am a professional and. Yeah. That's why I belong with the Greys.
It's time, because I remember you also were interested in tornado chasing one time, and you asked to join Reed Timmer and Sean Casey's crew, which was on the Storm Chasers show, I believe on Discovery. maybe it was 80.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the background of episode 4.
You are, and the fact that they did not let you continue, you could not get into the Dominator and take a ride because they believed your work was outside the scope of quote-unquote normal procedures. I was always hurt from that, and I told Reed that.
Thank you.
We had dinner one night at a Cracker Barrel, and I told him, I said, over a good piece of cornbread, I said, you must look at Jonah Sheckard with a different light, for he's doing great work that even if you don't believe.
You said that?
I did say that. Reed didn't. We haven't spoken a lot since then, and his show was canceled, but he still does great work in the tornado chase and research industry.
You don't know how much that means to me.
Well, I don't want to get emotional. I don't generally. I try to avoid emotions because I think that clouds judgment when you're searching for answers that aren't necessarily considered normal. With aliens and my specialty Bigfoot. And to those listeners, by the way, programming note, we will have a Bigfoot hunter on very soon. Stay tuned for that. So I hope for the best for you, Jonah. I just can't imagine.
Yeah, and if I come back, you'll be the first and only to hear, so don't even worry about that.
You'll have the exclusive here.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm offloading my consciousness and my thoughts here on this on your podcast.
Have you heard the theories that the Bermuda Triangle is just a portal to a Jimmy Buffett chain restaurant located on Mars?
See, now you're really starting to bother me, Nolan.
Why is that?
You're making fun of me.
I'm not making fun.
You're saying Jimmy Buffett?
No, that he's franchised out to Mars and he already got there, and that the Bermuda Triangle is a one-way ticket there that you can return after you've enjoyed a trip to Margaritaville.
There's a difference between a time warp and a wormhole. The Bermuda Triangle is not a wormhole.
It's not a wormhole.
Therefore, It could not travel you through space, only time. Do you understand that?
I do understand. Look, I'm not a believer in this thing. I went into one Margaritaville in Las Vegas and was not happy with the experience, so I haven't been back.
You do know Margaritaville is covering up like half of the country's secrets, right? Chemtrails.
That's what I heard from one of the bartenders there.
Yeah.
But, and when I went back the next day to get more information, perhaps interview him for this show, he was no longer employed there. So
this is what I'm talking about. People just don't appreciate professionals.
No, they don't. And people don't appreciate you, but the work you're trying to accomplish is very important. Do you feel you're traveling in a pontoon boat? I heard you say.
Yes.
Are you traveling alone for a while? You have anyone dropping you off? How do you get to the Triangle? I know where it is.
Well, I've been to the Triangle by plane 5 times. Yeah, 5 times, and I've been all other times by pontoon.
You feel that the aliens, the unearthly bound beings, do you feel as though they react better to ships or planes?
Oh, well, they definitely appreciate a nice boat because it leaves the human a little bit more vulnerable. Whereas if you're in a plane, there's the whole issue of ground control talking to you through radios the whole issue of fuel. And, the Greys... The last thing they want is fuel. That
makes sense to me because there's a story of an incident in 2002 where a cruise ship reported that a unregistered passenger won their shuffleboard tournament that weekend. When they went to give him his prize check and gift certificate to the buffet, he was gone. And many believe that he was not of this world. And that maybe the aliens, and it passed through the northern tip of the Bermuda Triangle. And there were some thoughts that the aliens do react to, ships. And this one wanted to take a break and play some shuffleboard. And this was a path to that goal, to accomplishing that goal.
If you were an alien, you would want to take a break and play shuffleboard too, right?
I would too.
Yeah.
I'm not great at it.
It's understandable. And obviously you'd win because you're intellectually superior to everybody.
I'm telling you, I'm not great at it. I'm good at other things.
Well, we've got to give that a shot. Yeah. We've got to get out there and get on the court.
Yeah, I am good at a elementary school game called German dodgeball.
German dodgeball?
Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
It's a little more chaotic. There's balls flying at your face from all sides.
Wow.
Which is also a category on Pornhub. We're almost done here, Jonah, and I almost hate to end the show because I want to know you're going to be okay. But I'll
be fine.
I know
I'll be fine.
You'll be fine.
It's all in the pamphlets, Nolan.
What happens if you go into the triangle for the 12th time, and this is my final question for you, and you return, and the aliens have, unearthly bound beings have no need for you, and you're not rewarded?
So you're saying, hypothetically, I'll go into the triangle and nobody will want me?
You come out and you know all the lyrics to Neil Diamond's 2005 album, 12 songs. Well,
here's the thing I'll leave everyone on this about the triangle. Mm-hmm. Going into the triangle is a transcendental experience.
Like your Henry David Thoreau in a forest.
Yes. Yeah. But it's the ocean.
Right.
And within that 1 million square foot cozy little triangle,
right,
you will experience the electromagnetic field caused by Pangea. You will experience the feeding ground, the harvesting ground. You might even see an apparition.
Right.
And so if I come back, Nolan, the thing is I will have experienced something. And, that's just another pamphlet for me. So all good things. It
all points to good.
Yeah.
Off topic, do you believe that College Station, Texas is the last part of Pangea left? The connection. It didn't break off.
Yeah. You can see that in the fossils.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, like you can look at the armadillo fossils and you can see that there's a connection.
That sounds great. Well, another show indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Mysteries of the Unexplained on the Napzok Files podcast feed. We're almost out of here. I want to thank my guest, Jonah Sheckard, meteorologist extraordinaire, Cable Ace award-winning meteorologist for his work in Palm Springs.
Signing out,
indeed. Perhaps for the last time, but we're going to keep in contact. I wish you the best. I wish you the best, man. You just got to stop interrupting people. I'll work on that.
That's all I'll say. But yeah, go ahead and sign off. Yeah, I'm going to take some local courses at Valley College in LA of podcasting. That's it for this week here. Mysteries of the Unexplained. I want to thank my guest again, Jonah Sheckard. You can go to SheckardTruth.com. Yes, .tv.
SheckardTruth.tv. Go ahead, pick up a digital pamphlet, buy a bumper sticker, and support this man's work as he heads out on a pontoon into the Bermuda Triangle this November. Hopefully we'll get a follow-up, or the update will just be that I can't book him on the show anymore. For all of those who are fans of the Napzok Files in general, thank you for being part of this program today and enjoying it here on the Saturday night special lineup of programming on Napzok Files podcast feed. You can follow Ken Napzok's work at kennapzok.com, including information on where to purchase his book, Why We Love Star Wars, a fictional look at what might actually happen in the stars that we know is not real, of course. And then he's got comedy shows, including one with Mark Ellis in Washington, D.C., the nation's capital, and perhaps the most secretive place on Earth. He'll be there November 16th. Go to there. He wants to thank his high-tier Patreon supporters, and you can support him by going to patreon.com/Ken Napzok. And his executive producer supporters are Real Snacks Attack, Thomas Risling, Lethal Logan X, Matthew Simon, Bador, who I believe has encountered aliens before, Matthew Thompson, Tamor, Abdul, and Rafi. They are the brothers Buddha. Donald Long, Nathan Ovendale, he's a first-rate Nate, Zach Anderson, who's out there in Wisconsin, which has one of the higher reported areas for alien interactions. And finally, Ty Schallenberger, who I do believe is an alien himself. They support Ken at Ken Napzok's Patreon page, patreon.com/Ken Napzok. Share the word. Leave a review. If you're listening on YouTube, give us a like. This broadcast is always rebroadcast on Ken Napzok YouTube page. I am Nolan Guthrie, a paranormal reporter that has no problems asking the questions why and how. We'll see you next time. Mysteries and the Unexplained on the Napzok Files podcast feed.